Welcome to today's Rink Report, brought to you by Telhio Credit Union. I'm Bob McElligott with Jody Shelley. The Blue Jackets are going to play a postseason game today, the first game of their Stanley Cup Qualifier with the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is a best-of-5 series. First team to 3 wins gets to move on to the round of 16 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Jody, how nice is it after almost 5 months that we're sitting here talking about a meaningful NHL game today?
Well, it's tremendous. I mean, it seemed like a long ways away, and there were points where we didn't know if this was going to happen, Bob. But here we are, the Blue Jackets and the Maple Leafs. All the practice is done. All the preparation is done. They're ready in Toronto to get this going. And I'll tell you what, it is so exciting. I mean, all the emotions that come with playoff hockey, it's here today, and we're ready to go.
Did you watch many of the games in day one? And if so, what did you take away from that as far as the way teams are playing and the way games are being called?
Yeah, I watched almost all of them. A lot of penalties, a lot of emotion to start that first game with Carolina right away. I thought that was excellent. That's a nice ingredient to bring, is that you have to manufacture emotion sometimes and set the tone. Well, the tone of the first series of the Rangers and the Hurricanes was set immediately. I like the excitement in all the games, the desperation, the Penguins and the Montreal Canadiens. You know, it just shows you what's happening in this league right now. And it's going to be, you're going to have a game plan. You got to stick with it. And, I mean, a full day of hockey again today. The Blue Jackets are in prime time here tonight, and they're just anxious to get going. So I think we all felt the same way. Yeah, it's great to watch hockey, but we're excited to get our Blue Jackets on the ice and get this going.
Well, the Blue Jackets had all of these position battles, and really when it came to the forwards, it was about what kind of line are you going to be in, whether or not Liam Foudy would skate in the postseason. On defense, it really came down to a 6th defenseman. Who's it going to be? But the big battle was in goal between Joonas Korpisalo and Elvis Merzlikins. And now that game day is here, John Tortorella finally tells us who will start in goal.
No one particular thing gave an edge. We're going to start Corpy. I think really, quite honestly, both of them deserve the opportunity. I had to make a decision. I'm not going to get too entailed as far as why I made that decision. Talk to them both. We may need both of them. Who knows what happens? And this is new for them. This is new playoff hockey for them in the National Hockey League. And but we're going to go with Corpy. We talked as a coaching staff and with Manny, our goaltending coach, and this is what we came up with.
And you know what, John Tortorella, I mean, this is a decision that if anyone emerged and really ran with it, then it was going to be clear-cut. We all would have known. But I think it's so close. He's going to go with the guy he's comfortable with, the guy who's been here a while. And listen, that's the first competition. That's the first hurdle. But the competitions stay real, and it stays on. And it's minute to minute with John Tortorella. He will assess his players immediately when the game starts, and whether it's goaltending or center ice, the ice time, the power play time, it's all going to be switched and flopped around if things aren't going exactly how he wants. He wants the effort, and he wants the attention to detail within their system.
When the Blue Jackets take on the Toronto Maple Leafs now, there is no John Tortorella, Mike Babcock matchup of two veteran coaches that have been around for a long time and have done great things in their career. Now it is the young Sheldon Keefe, who did very good work in the American Hockey League with Toronto's AHL affiliate. Now he is with the big club. They responded to him when he first got that job. But does Tortorella have any kind of an edge here, Jody? Because when he was going up against Babcock, there was always a pretty big game of chess going on there behind the scenes. What's this coaching matchup like?
I don't know. I've thought about this quite a bit. And, Sheldon Keefe it's what he has with his players, how much his players respond to what they want to do. Now, there's in-game adjustments that need to be made. And I think Tortorella, he might try to play games and try to get things going a little bit in his advantage. I think there is an experience there, but I don't know. I don't know if it's a factor in this series so much. I think that the buy-in that the Leafs have with their new head coach, it seems to be pretty good. He's a very, very thorough coach, it seems like, from everything I've read about Sheldon Keefe. And then Torts has got, he's got some tricks up his sleeve, I think, as far as seeing and testing the opposition coach. We've seen little things like starting a certain line when you're the visiting team just to see what the other team is going to do in response. So those things happen throughout the game, but I don't think that that's going to be a major advantage in this series. I think the team that's bought into their systems and what they're supposed to do with the game plan, I think we'll have a little bit of an advantage.
And let's take all of that a step further, because the Leafs are going to have the last line change here in the first two games. So they'll be able to get the matchups that they want to. But as we know, if the Blue Jackets are playing their game, as you say, if they're playing their system, it really doesn't matter which line is out there. As long as everybody is bought in to that defensive style of play, they still can slow down whatever Maple Leafs line is on the ice, right?
Yeah, and if you watched the Chicago game yesterday, I thought it was a great example of, when McDavid was out there and Draisaitl were out there, there was no lines getting pulled off the ice. They were playing their four lines, and they were just playing their game within their organization, what they have. Blue Jackets are very confident in their six defensemen and four lines that are out there. So there's not going to be screaming and kicking to get anyone off the ice. If you're on the ice against the top players, you have the same responsibility as the top players of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Ideally, you get the matchups, situational, offensive zone face-off when the other line is stuck out there. But you're right, Bob. In this situation, when you have the depth and you just worry about yourself, you see why Torch says that all the time. Because if you are responding all the time in professional sports and you're the team that's reacting to what the other team's doing, you get away from what you're doing. So he's really implemented that from day one when he was here. He's got a group that understands that now to a T, and I think that'll give him confidence from within too.
On Thursday, when the Blue Jackets played against the Bruins, they were working on that team game. They know how they have to play. Torch has said that he was thrilled they played against Boston because they knew they were going to get a challenge. They were going to get a heavy physical game, and they did. Did you see enough evidence that their team game is ready? I know it was an exhibition game, but it's the only tune-up they had. Did you see enough evidence that they're going to be ready to play the right way today?
They played really well. I mean, they really played well. You could tell they're anxious to get going, and they're anxious to see where they're at. And they've got no respect still. People were surprised, oh, wow, they look good. Yeah, they're a good team. The dialogue has been all about Panarin and those guys leaving to start this season. These players are so sick of that, and they're so confident in what they have. I love the way they got into it. They got blocking shots, throwing hits, taking hits, deflecting pucks. From the goaltender out, I thought everyone got exactly what they needed from that game. We'll see, obviously, tonight. But as far as getting prepared and getting what you want of the last week being in the bubble, they look like they've done it well.
All right, finally, you talked about in day one, all those games, a lot of penalties were called. There were a lot of power plays. Heck, there were a couple of penalty shots in the Penguins' Montreal game, as a matter of fact. So when it comes to that, how important is it for the Blue Jackets to be the team that is not in the penalty box, but the team that's on the power play, even though their penalty kill is the bigger strength of those two special teams units? Against Toronto, you really don't want to gamble with that, right?
You don't want to give those guys confidence and touches and then keep the rhythm of your bench. You're a four-line team. When you have a guy in the box, it breaks up the momentum, and there's some top players who are sitting on the bench. You can't have that. Dubois now kills penalties. It's good that he gets out there and gets his legs going. Wenberg will get his legs going. Atkinson. But there's other players that will be on the bench waiting for ice time. And you can't – the key is, Bob, to answer that, Marner, Matthews, Tavares, they want the puck. They want the puck in the offensive zone. They live on the power play. They feel good about it. Cannot take a number of penalties. Got to keep it below 4. Is that getting a little greedy? No, I don't think so. Below 4 penalties is what they need to do here tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
All right, Jody's going to be a busy guy tonight because he and Jeff Rimmer have the call on Fox Sports Ohio. 8 o'clock game tonight, by the way, and Jody will also do a little pregame and probably some intermission. And I know he joins me for the postgame show on the Blue Jackets radio network. Our pregame coverage there will get underway at 7 o'clock. Jody, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you later on tonight and ready to go here.
I can't wait, Bob. You got a busy night, too. Finally doing some work here, buddy. So have fun, enjoy it. We'll see you at the rink.
All right, that'll do it for today's Rink Report. It's been brought to you by Telhio Credit Union. For Jody Shelley, I'm Bob McElligott. Enjoy the game.